Hello everyone, it's Joe here and welcome to episode number 5 of the Snake Draft FPL League podcast. In this show, we're going to be going through all the key issues in Draft Fantasy Premier League. There'll be a bit about our league, which is hosted by the website Draft Fantasy Football. We use official FPL scoring with the addition of Kante points, which are 1 extra point for every 2 tackles or interceptions. So while we're focused on DFF, what we chat about will also definitely apply to official FPL and Toggle Style Draft Fantasy as well. We'll also chat through a couple of general football and fantasy topics and have a bit of a laugh while we do it. We're starting to ramp up the content to help you win your draft league, so I definitely advise subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you get our tips before anyone else in your league does. Snake Draft FPL is a 12-man league, and I was supposed to be joined today by 3 of them, but one person has, we think, fallen asleep, which was supposed to be Connor, but no one can get hold of him. Very, very unprofessional. So just the 3 of us. Dave, I'll start with you. How are you? You're in your man cave. I can see a saw, a dartboard, and the fantasy football trophy. So how are you?
Oh, that's it. Yes, I'm great, thank you. I've been demoted to the garage. Apparently I made too much noise last time, so this is my zone.
Nice. And you've also been kicked off the Wi-Fi, so if your video's a bit stuttery, that's why.
Yeah, I'm on the 4G now, like a caveman.
No, it's not too bad. And other than that, we got Ben. How are you, Ben?
Hey Joe, it's me, Ben.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. You?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. Right. Let's kick off then. Lowest score would have been Connor, and that would have been fun. Even though he won, got a win on 30 points, which is disgusting. Beat Mac. Dave, you're next up. 32 points. Bit of a disappointing week.
Yeah, I have to say fair play to Nath because he has drafted a decent side this year. I did expect to win, I'm not going to lie, with the City and Liverpool fixture, thinking Salah was going to blank. But it was a very dodgy week for everyone. It was a very low scoring week for the majority of players. Obviously not you, but I did not have a good week. I had to hold my hands up and say, right, Nathan's a better man, fair play to him, we move on. But terrible week.
Was it close going into the City Liverpool game?
It was about, I think after Kante points, and I had to work out myself because they weren't updated early. I think I was around about 10 points ahead of Nath, with him to lift with Curtis Jones, Salah, and Fabinho.
Right.
If they all got and Edison as well. So if they all got 2 points, I would have won. And there might have been a few Kante points there. The clean sheet points all got wiped out. But then as soon as Salah got his assist, I was working all out. I was about 1 point ahead. But then I got the notification. Mo Salah scored. And then that just killed my game. And then I just removed that. Was it. I just didn't go on your group chats for a few hours like I do every Sunday. Every time I lose. But yeah, fair play to him. I mean, Salah to me is one of the best players in the world now. And I do regret not picking him up. I'm not going to admit it.
First pick, didn't you? Cool.
Yeah.
You can watch this, Dave.
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, Bruno had the most points in our league out of the whole last season. He was like 40 points clear or something like that. So for me, it was a no-brainer. If I knew Ronaldo was coming, I wouldn't have picked him up. But never mind. Let's keep going.
Were you going to say something about Dave's team, Ben?
Yeah, I haven't really seen Dave's team this season. It's shit.
Yeah.
You've got
Ben. Yes.
You might have your team, Zaha.
Ben, have you looked at your team?
Yeah.
Come on. Right. Then
Zaha's your only good player.
I rest my case.
Moving on to your team, Ben. You got 49 points this week. Good week.
Yeah,
just
a second high. Well, it was touch and go, really, because it was all about who wasn't playing on my thing. Because if all my players played, I would have lost. Because only the players on the sub come on, which saved me.
Who did Ben, come on then?
You needed that win this week.
Yeah. Well, I didn't play Iheanacho.
Of course.
And it was just like little 3-4 pointers like Allen and Kelsey.
Souček done well, didn't he? It's good for you.
He gets done well, got the assist and the Kante points.
Oh, did he get the assist?
De Corvée as well, best player in the league.
Wow.
And then my new pickup, Joe Linton. Thank you very much. 3 points.
Told you. I
solid.
touted him in the video. You followed my advice, and his 3 points is your reward.
Yep. Well, I had Cucho, who I don't think he's in the league anymore. But, so he's gone.
Yeah. Definitely isn't in the league.
I mean, he might as well not be. Yeah. Bohr didn't really do much either, did he?
Well,
no. Werner scored for him, didn't he? Oh,
the great thing is
seems to have picked up a little bit, but
Ronaldo and Pogba didn't start. I think they started on a lost.
Yeah, I think Bohr's team's a little bit of a Man United thing. If Man United win, or if they keep a clean sheet, Bohr's won. Or he's done very well. He's got a lot of United players again.
Yeah, he's got 3.
Ronaldo,
he's got Martial as well. He's on his bench.
Oh yeah, just on the bench.
He's got Martial, so he didn't play him. He's probably going to play him next week, and he's not going to start. But I'd hate to have Martial.
Yeah,
Bohr's game could have went really bad because he's got 2 Arsenal defenders as well, and Brighton could have easily scored.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be like a max score.
Yeah, we'll get onto that. I want to talk about Mac. Right, I topped the pops this week, 71 points. Just one of those weeks for me where everything went right. Hwang brace with 2 Jimenez assists. I pretty much felt like I'd won after the 3 o'clock games, even though I was only on like 25 points or something. Brad had done nothing, and then it just kept going. Like every game, every game. I just had a goal scorer: Watkins, Højbjerg, Mane, De Bruyne.
Yeah, Højbjerg. Once Højbjerg joins in the party, I think you've won the league. So.
I know that was.
I couldn't even believe it. He was on your team.
The funny thing was as well. Sunday, I pretty much knew I'd won anyway. But I was at work. I was on afternoons on Sunday, so I was at work, and it was really busy, so I didn't watch any football at all. And I was just sat at work. I just kept getting score notifications to my watch, and just every time it was just one of my players. So I sat thinking, you sit there thinking, I wonder how many points I'm on. I must be on fucking loads of points.
Yeah.
So it was a good week.
Just share them out would be quite nice of you.
But sometimes when I don't know if any of you get this, but sometimes when you know you've won and you're like 20 points clear, you think, I don't want to waste any more. Like I've got the win.
Use them next.
I think if someone scores, they might not. I don't want to waste their goals. So I might as well save them for
if someone gets 2 goals, they're not likely to get 2 goals next week, are they?
Exactly.
Well, your fixture this week was like, was that a previous final, or it used to be a big game between you two? It was always a playoff game.
Years ago.
I think I've played him in the semis a couple of times. I don't think I've ever actually played in the final, but I've definitely played in the semis a few times.
You're thinking old Division 1 now, Dave.
Brad has gone down, man. But I'm worried for Brad this year. He picked up Sterling first pick, and nah, I wouldn't have him in my team. Sorry, Brad.
I'm really glad that. So for me, it was going to be Mane or Sterling, and I was before Brad. I went for Mane, and he went for Sterling. But it was quite close. I did consider Sterling. Like I really did think about it. I do like having a City, one of the City big boys. I mean, I've ended up with one of them anyway. Yeah. But
one on Ben.
Well, thanks, Ben. But yeah, Brad's team is he doesn't. He's got a few like half decent picks. Vardy, Wood. Well, Wood. Can you say Wood? Vardy and Sterling, but like none of them.
He's got
only Vardy is consistent. Everyone else is like, knows what they're going to get.
He has a great team 2 years ago.
Yes, that is a great. Yeah, I really like that. Brad's team in like 2018 would be so good.
Yeah.
I think that's what he does, doesn't he? Just looks at the previous points.
He's got that Madison Vardy duo again, which he's had before. He's at least had both of them players at different times, and I just do not rate Madison for FPL now. No, he's got nothing for fantasy. Poor bless him, good player.
He's got more claret in his team than the UFC fucking canvas. I've just seen his team. It's ridiculous.
It's like Burnley, West Ham, and Villa. Like that's it. And they're not three teams I normally target.
No.
Yeah.
That's too much Brad, if you're listening.
Was it Nick Pope was highest point scorer this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Joe, wasn't
it? Must be along those lines.
And Vardy, maybe.
Oh, Vardy, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, not a great week for Brad, but it's a good week for me. And on that point, we'll move on to the manager of the month. With 3 weeks out of 4 in, I'm top on 9 points, only person on max points. So if I win this week, it's mine, which would be a good bounce back considering I got the forfeit last month. I've got Nathan and John both hot on my heels, 7 points. So if I don't win, I would have thought one of them will get it. Looking down the bottom end, Nick, manager of the month, it's literally flipped. He was top and now he's bottom. Yeah. I was bottom and now I'm top. Only 87 points in 3 weeks, not even 30 points a week. That is good. That is pretty bad.
He deserves it.
The bad thing is as well, he's got Nathan next week.
That's it. I haven't looked at the fixtures yet.
That would be nice for me actually, because it's actually me and Mike on 3, and we're playing each other next week. So potentially it could be the loser of that game gets a forfeit, depending on the other fixtures. Mike's got about 40 City players, and they're playing Burnley at home, which is always about 5-0 every year.
Always.
So I do worry about that game. I feel like I've lost next game week already because of that fixture, and that's good to want to fit.
Well,
but I think Nathan did the job against Nick.
Spoiler alert, but Mike has lost one of his City players, so we'll come on to that shortly.
Fantastic.
Which is a good little topic. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like Nick. I don't see him not getting the forfeit. If it's not him, it could be Mike. There's actually a few players. So Mike's on 1 point because he drew with Mac earlier in the month, and then it's Connor, Dave, Bourne, Brad all on 3. So any one of them could get it. But yeah, I think it'll be Mike or Nick. I think it'll be Nick. I don't see him beating Nathan.
I don't see him beating Nathan.
No, not now. Nathan on a ridiculous grain of form.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it there. Nathan's a Jordan Russell season, top all season, finish 4th.
Yeah.
I'd leave the league if that happens.
Shit the bed in the playoffs. You've had it happen.
What?
Oh, I see what you mean. If it happens to Nathan. I thought you meant if it happened to you. No, you've done that.
No, not that. No, sorry. I thought you were going to say Bor and Nathan and Dad finishing the playoffs. So
Jordan finishing
the playoffs.
Does this every year, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, looking at the table, let's just get that up.
Very tight.
It is. I mean, it is very tight. Jordan and Nath are kind of ahead of the pack a little bit, and John just behind them. Mac, he's not staying in 4th, so I think we can just sort of look over that.
Lord.
That is yeah. That's like when. Do you remember it about 5 years ago when Hull were top of the league after like 2 games, and everyone was like, "Oh," and then they got relegated. I don't think we've had a tighter season or start to the season as this. There's usually someone at the bottom like 3 points. But like, I think if you look at it now, so you've got, say, Joe, because of his score, it won't be bottom in game week 8. But if you look at Nick or myself on 9 points, if the teams below us beat us, you're bottom. Yeah,
bottom of the league.
I mean,
you're like mid-table now. It's so tight.
And 12. That 4th place on 10. Then we've got 7 people on 9 points, and then Mike on 7. Makes it quite interesting now. I really hope it's like this all season. I think that'd be really good if we get to like game 33 and there's like 6 people that can be Sacco, like 6 people.
Because usually you've got the bottom 3, which usually just fight. There's always one at the bottom. It's just that's him. Sorry, Nath last year. And then there's the 2 above him that are fighting. And if we have like 6 teams involved that this year, I think that would be quite exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope it stays like this. Yeah, but not me. I want everyone else to be in this, but not me. I want to be clear.
Our season was really tight because remember Brad was almost guaranteed Sacco Bowl, and then he flew up there.
And then it was like, if Brad wins his last 3 games, he can make the playoffs, even though he was like in the Sacco Bowl or something. Yeah. Yeah, I think generally it has been quite tight for a few years. But yeah, this season seems really tight. Yeah, so that looks good. Let's move on to the trades that have been going on then. I feel like this is sort of around the time of season where there often is a lot of trades. People start getting sick of players.
It's going crazy, right?
It starts off with John. He gets a little bit too excited.
John gets frustrated with someone.
Everyone else jumps on it.
Yeah, exactly right. It's the main one, sort of the big one that's gone through is. So it started with. I'm right in thinking Connor offered Mopay for Foden with Mike. Mike rejected it. I was out when this was all going on, so I'm not really sure. But I think Mike rejected it. Then he re-offered Grealish for Mopay, didn't he? And then after I think
Foden was involved somewhere, and then I think that was Mike actually sent the trade, and they're both nervous in accepting it. It took a while before Connor actually accepted it. We weren't sure.
Because then it was Grealish for Mopay is the one that actually got accepted, which I think Mike is. I know Mike's got a load of City players, so he's like, I don't want all these City players. I need to get rid of someone. But
no, I think he could have done better than that. Yeah, I said you could have had a lot better. I get you want to get rid of a City asset because he's got too many of them, but he could have done better than Mopay as a midfielder. Either get a better midfielder or a better striker. Surely he could have got Bamford back from Connor.
I think he could have got Bamford.
You know, and Mopay, is he on penalties? Was it Gross?
I'm not sure. I don't think he will be.
But
I think probably
no. But
Gross.
So Bamford would most likely on penalties if Mopay leads him or Glitch, I think. But I just don't understand the trade.
Yeah,
I do get it from the City side of things, but I mean Ben's is worse. Ben for Torres for KDB is never going to get beaten, I'm afraid.
I've been obviously a bit of behind the scenes footage of Mike. I've been working on today.
Oh yeah, of course,
sweating. He's been sweating like a pregnant nun. He's been panicking. He's offered me about 6 trades in person. Honestly, I can't believe it.
Really,
he wanted to go away. Who I'd rather give a left arm away than to go away. And then, he was going, do you reckon someone would do this trade, that trade? And then he does that, and I'm embarrassed.
I think you have to just say, I think you have to start high, aim high. So he aims for one of his big players and then he rejects it and then he starts working down. And you don't just go for the middle player straight away.
Yeah.
It's 8th round for a first round pick.
No, he would do that.
My trade was pretty ballsy. Oh, yeah, sorry. My trade was pretty ballsy, but I think I might beat the Wards in the end.
What was your trade?
Harry Kane. My Bruno and my Bamford for Connor's just raping everyone. Harry Kane and Bowen. Which, funny enough, the two players I've received in trade the last week, Bowen and Barnes, were the only players that actually returned for me this week.
Yeah, because we missed one out actually. Because you also did Barnes for Willock.
I did Barnes for Willock before the game week, yeah. And Willock got injured. So. And yeah, he gets KP, which is fine. But I like Harvey Barnes, and he's another. I feel like my team's just a team of players that could do something, and I'm waiting. I'm hoping I don't get too impatient. But
are you worried? Are you worried that if Iheanacho starting, which it looks like I think he probably will now after that performance?
He did start. He did start on the weekend. He started on the weekend, and Harvey Barnes started as well on the wing. So. I'm not quite sure who, but I think it went for a back 4 instead of a back 5.
Yeah.
So I think the centre half might have got dropped out, something like that. So maybe that's the way they played well. Well, actually, Palace played very well. I don't know why. I know. I don't know why Leicester throw it away because they threw a game against Napoli away as well for 2-0 up. But they can't. Going on to my team there on my defence, 2 Leicester defenders. Leicester have been very disappointing this year.
Yeah, agreed. I don't like Leicester at all, really. A couple of good picks. I mean, there's good picks on every team, no matter how bad they are. But yeah, I'm not convinced, especially defensively. I think they look really bad. So yeah, 2 Leicester.
I think there was another. I think it was Adam Armstrong for Pookie today as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, that went through today as well. John trade.
I thought that was quite fair actually because Pookie's on penalties for Norwich. Adam Armstrong played very well for Saints. I think he's just not putting it in the back of the net.
I'd rather have Adam Armstrong, I think. I think John's got a bit hazy. Mainly a fixtures play. Saints have got some good fixtures over the next sort of 5.
Coming up, some good fixtures.
And Adam Armstrong, at least he's guaranteed to play. And Norwich just could not score very many goals.
No.
And then he's not like, do you know what I mean? I think I'd rather have
you
Adam
could look
Armstrong.
at the other way and say Norwich, the only goals they're going to come from him and no one else. But Saints have got a few other options. Like Saints have got Adams and Armstrong, which is, I think, if they get 20 goals between them, it's a good season. 10 each. Whereas I think Pookie could still get 10 by himself. So I think it could be very fair in the end.
I think it's quite close.
For me, the penalties would tip it. I would actually have Pookie because I don't like having Saints players anyway.
Who would you rather have, Ben?
I think Dave's deluded thinking that we're going to get 20 goals just Saints this season. So
that's why
it's ridiculous. I like Adam Armstrong, but I think he's just another Shane Long. Good championship player, a lot of pace, no finish. Pookie, he'll do well till Christmas, and then they'll probably buy Van Wolfswinkel back or something. But
I don't love either of them. I think I'd rather have Adam Armstrong, but it's, as we say in the chat all the time, it's shit for shit, isn't it? Really,
they're third strikers, aren't they? Really, they're just to have a striker there that's going to play. Yeah, occasionally score.
They could end up on both
it's a relevant
6 points at the end of the season, both on the same number.
Yeah. I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's like completely. It's not like the Mopay for Grealish trade, which I think is really one-sided. I mean, if Grealish had played the amount of minutes that someone like Mahrez has played, I would say it's closer. I would have probably done Mahrez for Mopay, maybe.
But Grealish seems to be the one.
But Grealish has been playing every game. That's like. I mean, that could change at any point, couldn't it? Like that can change.
He has got Phil Foden, but you could have traded Foden for Mopay. You know, someone that's. Yeah. I don't know. I prefer Foden than Grealish anyway.
I prefer Foden.
But he was his first pick. You have to think that he prefers Grealish over Foden.
Well, earlier in the week, he offered me Foden for Hwang. But then he's been slow on it ever since. I keep going back to him like, let's do it. But he's copped out now. So I was getting all sorts of offers for Hwang. I was getting St. Max for Hwang. That was something I considered.
He's a flash in the pan. He ain't gonna last long, is he?
No, not at all.
Wolves are still Wolves, aren't they?
Joe knows that.
They still had the statistics going into the season and start of the season, had the fixtures, and everyone was going, "Oh, pick all these Wolves players up," which Joe done. And then they played against us, and then we just let them walk through our goal, and then suddenly the Wolves are the next best thing. I
don't think they're great, but what I do think is that they are quite attacking, and Hwang and Jimenez are going to get most of their returns. Like they've got a lot of players that can't finish, apart from those two. So I do see them getting.
Comes back.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's a front three of Neto, Hwang, and Jimenez, because Hwang's been playing on the left. Neto could play on the right, but not sure. Not 100% sure. But Neto's not going to be back for a while, I don't think. I think it's going to be at least a month or two. So,
fine.
Yeah, but I am still open to offers for Hwang if anyone's interested. Not because I don't like the pick. If I didn't have Jimenez, I'd just sit on him. But I don't really love having both. It seems like a bit much.
Oh, I'll do you a favour, Joe. Che Adams could be yours tonight.
Absolutely not.
Che. Is he a striker? This is a striker, Hwang.
Yes.
He is. Oh, then they're good to me, sorry.
I think that actually makes him more valuable. Even though he gets slightly less points, there are much less...
More bonus points as well for strikers. But I suppose...
And there are there's not many people with 3 good forwards.
We are lacking for... Well, I've got Marcus Rashford and Ivan Toney, so...
Yeah. Well... There we are then. Okay, let's go on to a couple of sort of featured players. We will start with John's man, Andros Townsend. He's been absolutely killing it lately. Let me get this thing up here. So yeah, he's 3 goals, 2 assists. He's got a ton of points, 52 points. He's just, I don't think anyone saw this coming, did they? I mean, Andros Townsend, he's been in the wilderness.
I thought he was finished. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I wanted Southampton to go for him, to be honest. When he was a free contract at Palace, it was all going through the summer. I think he already had a move planned anyway to Everton. I said a few other players from Palace, but I had the choice of either him or Gray, game week 2, something like that. And I just took a punt on Gray instead of Townsend. They've both been just as good, but Townsend seems to have excelled the last couple of weeks. I don't know. Is he up for the England call up again? He played well for England when he did play, but probably a bit too much of a stretch now.
I think there's too many good players in that position.
Yeah, it's good to see someone like that didn't quite do enough. I don't think for Palace, but he did enough to get by.
Yeah,
suddenly come through the scene again and smash it, and for free as well. Everton, him and Demarai Gray for 1.5 million for both of them is a steal.
Yeah.
I like Everton this year. I think they're going to do well.
Yeah,
they got individual players, and now they're just coming to a team, haven't they? Really?
Yeah. They haven't spent anywhere near like they have done before.
Rafa does know how to organise a team, doesn't he? And he knows how to get the best out of players. Whether people generally don't like him for some reason. I always quite like Rafa. I always thought
I've always liked him, yeah.
But you know there's like a baseline expectation that he'll do like a certain level of job wherever he is. So yeah, I think he's good. I'll start with you, Ben. How would you compare Townsend? How would you rank Townsend as opposed to someone like Pogba or Mount or one of these, like, maybe not Pogba, but one of these like upper tier mids, someone like Grealish or Havertz or someone like that? How would you rank Townsend among those sorts of players?
I think he could break into it. I don't think he's there yet. Obviously, yeah, because the thing about him, he's got a lot of Prem experience, so that's not going to be too hard for him. But I do think he can now start every game for Everton, and he could be one of their top players. I hope so, because I always like Townsend as well. So maybe he does well.
Yeah, I think it's just him. He's not like appealing because you go for the big players, the big players of the big teams.
Yeah,
they could get
he's
less
a bit boring,
than Townsend. Yeah, exactly. He is a boring pick, but he's a goal scorer at the moment, and he's a point scorer.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing is you just have to think, can he keep up this sort of scoring? And I'm not convinced he can. I mean, the thing is, he does have penalties as well, doesn't he? Which is a big boost
at the moment. Yeah. Well, Calvert-Lewin's off. So I think after the international break, he probably changed to Calvert-Lewin if he comes back. But it could all change once Charleston and Calvert-Lewin start playing. But Townsend would always play. We might not get the goals as such now, but if they're playing out the wings a bit more. I mean, the goal that they did score against United was a really good breakaway, and he seems to provide that little bit of pace that I think they've been missing for a while. And they've tried the likes of Iwobi, and it's not really worked. Iwobi's playing at the moment, obviously, but I think Townsend's he's done really well the last couple of weeks, and I'd like to see him continue. But anyone like that, really, anyone's played Premier League for so long, continue doing really well. It's such a bargain as well. I think it's a good move for Everton.
Yeah, agreed. How would you, Dave? Who would you rather have out of Townsend and like Sarr, or Townsend and like Rafinha and players like that?
I would have to go from those 3 players. It would have to be Rafinha straight away. I was an owner last year off of a nice little trade off a knife. Great player, and actually above him I'd have Sarr as well. Above Townsend I'd have Sarr. I like Sarr as well. Townsend is but he is that boring pick, whereas I think the other two are a little bit more exciting.
I know. I mean, Townsend's outscored both of them so far.
Exactly,
but I just don't see that carrying on. But maybe that's just my own bias.
I think the fact that Sarr plays for Watford really destroys him a little bit. I think if he was playing for a bigger side, better side, I think he would get a lot more points. I feel like he's only really going to get points against smaller clubs I think they've got Liverpool next, which he was linked with, so that could be interesting. But I would have those two over Townsend. Townsend's that sort of, I'd have to say, the bottom tier pick, the top of the bottom tier. He's not. I don't think he's quite Sarr, Rafinha level.
What about someone like Saka?
I would probably also go Saka. I don't see Townsend doing this through the season. Okay. I don't think he's going to have the consistency going through. Brilliant player, brilliant start of the season, but I just don't think he's going to have the consistency. Saka's I think Saka will play well week in, week out. I don't see that from Townsend.
Yeah, agreed. Ben, what do you think about those sorts of players? Sarr, Rafinha, Saka. Would you have Townsend over any of them?
I think I would, because I think Everton are going to have a good season. Definitely qualify for Europe, I reckon. It'll be a few big clubs like Spurs and stuff. And I think their goals are going to come from midfielders, really. So, yeah, I'd have him over Saka, I think.
What about Sarr?
Yeah, because like Dave said, Sarr's shit team, and he look.
Yeah, that's the thing with Sarr. I'm not sure how Watford. I mean, they've just sacked their manager, haven't they? So we don't really know what's going to happen next. Again, obviously. I think Sarr, I would consider. I don't know. I think Watford are bad, and no matter how good he is, they're going to not score as a team reasonably frequently.
That's the thing. I know with like draft football, it comes down to the individual, how they do. But there is a team element, like you said, like St. Maximin. I think he's a great player. Plays in a shit Newcastle team, and he's just not going to get that many points in there.
Yeah. It does make a difference.
They can go the other way, and they can be the shining light, and they can be the one to get all the goals, all the assists.
And if they score, they're going to get bonus as well, which is a nice thing because no one else is doing it.
Yeah, they are. Like, I think if you've got in the draft, if you've got one of players like Sarr, Alex Maximan, Townsend, players like that are probably more the shining light of their teams. Not so much Townsend, but then you're still better off, I think. But they do still play for a shit team.
I swear we just named like most of John's players. All the players that are in like shit teams. But
it is, and this is why every week on the pod it comes. I wish he was on this week. He was going to be on, but it does on the internet. Every time it comes to John's squad, I get it up and I'm like, this team is shit. Look at all these players. But it's because they all play for like the 11th to 20th place teams, and I just can't my team. And every year this seems to happen. My team is made up of pretty much top 8 teams, maybe the odd 1 or 2 that I chop and change, but I pretty much always have top 8 players. And then I always look at teams and just see like all the kits, and I just look and think, that's crap. I just can't help it.
We don't see the individuals. You just think, what for shit?
You see a yellow kit in there. Do the
yellow one. Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, a stripy kit as well. I think but no good teams have a stripy kit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next player then, Ben. I'll let you start because you've been waiting for this moment all season. Iheanacho, your boy. What a player. Why hasn't he been starting all year?
Right. Rewind to podcast 1, I said he's one of the best strikers in the Prem. He hasn't started, starts this game, scores straight away. And I love him. And I'm glad he's playing now. Hopefully he stays there. I think he will, surely. Week in, week out, starting, scoring. Vardy's finished. Move over.
Is he? I don't really.
The Nigerian prince.
I don't know where it comes from, to be honest, because he finished the season so well. He come into the team, he was scoring, he was assisting, and then it come to the first game of the season, he was gone, long gone. And I was thinking, what? No one could even get their head down by Iheanacho stopped playing, and then he started him again and he scored straight away. I don't know why. There must be a reason. Maybe it's Europa League. I don't know, but it's very strange.
I looked at it because obviously I wanted to play, And they were saying, he's happy on the bench, though. And he released it himself, said, I'm happy on the bench.
On the bench.
I thought, who's this
Never
for?
happy,
It's only an actual I know love. But yeah. And now Vardy, his arse is twitching like a rabbit's nose. I can't believe it.
They need to be up top together, that's fine.
I do see him starting up top together quite a lot. But I just think they look so much better when he's in the side, when they're playing together. I just don't understand why it's taken this long. And Leicester have not been doing well. They've been shit by their standards. Like, why has it taken this long? And you got to think, if Iheanacho doesn't stay in the team now, then that's...
Yeah, something's up.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be something...
I think it's strange because I'd say I think everyone out there has seen it, that they should be playing Iheanacho apart from Brendan Rodgers.
I know.
Everyone's seen it. And I can't get my head around it. And he's finally made him and scored.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not like they've got too many players as well. Too many good players.
No, exactly. I mean,
they're playing fucking Iosi Perez instead of him, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, I'd say better on the wing than he is on the bench, isn't he? That way.
Exactly. I'm taking offers, by the way. I'll only take Ronaldo,
Ivan Toney,
Bruno, or Kane, really.
Kane, fine. Take off me fucking head.
No, not
what has Connor even done with my Harry Kane, by the way? He's broken him something.
I've got a theory that if you go on Connor's team, you get cursed. I've just said it for years. Like, who's he just got? Grealish, wasn't it?
Yeah, he'll be out of the team.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we're going a little bit off topic, but my team looks a bit like Mac's team from last year, which really bothers me because I've got Harry Kane, Hugo Lloris, and Marcus Rashford. At least 3 of his players from last season, so that shits me up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so it is actually.
I've looked at it and I thought, shit. It looks just.
Where did Mac finish last year? 10th.
I didn't finish Sacco. Do you know what? If I don't get the Sacco ball this year, it's a good season because I have not had a good start.
I don't know if he had him last year, but Goodmanson's a Mac player as well.
He was for week 7 only. Oh, Cresswell is.
Cresswell. I think it's the first year Mac hasn't had it.
Oh my god, it is. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that is a Mac. If like pre-draft, you just showed me this team and be like, "This is someone's team in game week 7. Whose team is this?" So I'd be like, "That's Mac."
Yeah.
No, because if you look at my midfield, I've got he likes Cantor players and he's got like.
Yeah, that's true. He always has like Henderson and stuff.
So apart from my midfield, my defence and my goalkeeper and strikers are Mac players.
Yeah, no, that is a funny point actually. Yeah, that's
I only found out yesterday and I sort of thought. I thought it was up.
That's one of those realizations you think, oh my god, how has this happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Dave, we're going back to Iheanacho. Who would you rather? Let's play my favourite game of who would you rather have in your team, Iheanacho or Mope?
That's a great question, and I would probably have to go with my old mate Mike here and go for Mope, simply because of the guaranteed minutes. And if you look at my team, apart from a couple of players here and there that are covered, I do have to have someone that starts. And when they don't, I'm really, really surprised at 2:00 on a Saturday. Yeah. Like, Iheanacho is brilliant. If you could guarantee me Iheanacho starts every week, then I'd rather have him. But no one can guarantee that at the moment.
Yeah. What about Iheanacho or Greenwood?
Yeah, that's a good one. I
love this game.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? That's hard. That's tight, is it? That one is tight. Off the cusp at the moment, I would say Iheanacho. I'm a big fan of Greenwood, but if Sanchez starts doing a bit and Rashford comes back, Greenwood's minutes could get reduced.
Yeah.
And Iheanacho, at the moment, Iheanacho's minutes are only going to go up because he's played and scored.
They can't go down.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Exactly. So at the moment, that would be a tight one. And if I was an owner of Greenwood and someone offered me Iheanacho, I would make me think.
Never going to happen. Don't worry about
it. I was going to say. I was going to ask you guys, Ben, as well, but I know what you're going to say.
Iheanacho the one.
What about Jimenez, Ben, for Iheanacho? No, I'm not offering this, by the way, as Jimenez owner, because I would pick Jimenez.
No,
just be honest, Ben. Just,
Iheanacho.
That's just silly.
No, I think Jimenez is better at the start of the season, but might have another injury. I don't trust it.
All right.
Do you know what? Getting rid of Iheanacho now would be great trade bait.
Do you think? I think it might be kind of the worst time to get rid of him, actually, because you've had him for all his 5-minute spells, and then he starts.
Yeah, but it's a good bait now because he
I
started.
think you wait like 5
People
more
might
weeks,
start thinking,
let him start a few more games, get a few more goals, then you might get someone really good for him.
Yeah, well, possibly. I would fall for that trap at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the last player we're going to talk about. More of a premium asset, Son. Spurs won at the weekend. Well done to Spurs. They're still not great. Actually, they're still pretty bad. Yeah, they have. Yeah. But they don't look great. Son, though, seems to be the only player that's doing anything for them, apart from my man Højbjerg. I'll start with you, Ben. How would you, if you were Son's owner, would you be if you picked him? What did you take him third in the draft? Would you be satisfied?
First in the draft.
Well, yeah, but he was third pick, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, when he first drafted him that early on, I was shocked. I had to pick my jaw up.
I was.
Even though Son's, I hate Spurs. I love Son. I think he's like got to be the most liked player in the league.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
I think you have to stick with him. I don't think you're going to get like one of the big five boys for Son. Yeah, and you're just going to get someone who's good now, sort of thing, like Jimenez or someone for Son. I think, but Son's proven, that's the thing. So I wouldn't trade it for anyone other than the big boys.
Well, let me throw this to you then in response to that. So Jordan earlier offered me Son for Mane. Who would you rather have out of them two?
Mane. Only comes down to the team.
Yeah, I agree. It's the team for me. Liverpool are attacking so well that there's not many players I'd trade Mane for. Dave, who would you pick out of Mane and Son?
Oh, it's got to be Son. I've got a little my little relationship with Son because he won me the league last year, didn't he? He was my first pick, and I was 12th.
I didn't know you won the league.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, did you not see that trophy? Yeah.
You just mentioned it every five.
Do you mean that sword? Or the dartboard?
The dartboard is my trophy. I'm a big fan of Son. When Kane's playing well, it devalues him a little bit. But at the moment, Kane's playing shit, so Son is a premium player to own in draft.
So, if you were advising some random person on Twitter to do Mane or Son, so taking your own personal "I love Son" out of it, who would you tell?
I would.
Would you still say Son?
Maybe just about. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Mane, to be honest. I'm not going
to be honest. What
because
I will say,
Salah's just so good.
Yeah, what I will say in Son's defence in this sort of Mane versus Son, Mane this year, 4 goals, 1 assist, great return, 45 points. I think he's the 8th highest scorer in the league. 0 bonus points on the year. He does not have a single bonus point, mainly because Salah hogs them and Van Dijk also hogs them. So 0 bonus points. I was pretty shocked when I saw that, and I fucking own him. So whereas Son,
I'm not a big fan of
6 bonus points, so not loads, but definitely like noticeably more.
So Mane is class. We all know it. I've seen him loads of times when he was playing the Saints, but I wouldn't like him in my draft team.
He misses a lot of chances.
And Salah takes the rest. Salah misses a lot of chances, but Salah has the majority of them. And if you were going to pick, he's played in a list of best players. He's second fiddle to Salah.
It's tough. It is tough having your best player on your team not be the best player on their team. If you know what I mean. Like Mane is my best pick, but he is not Liverpool's best player, and that's quite sort of difficult.
And that's usually what you target if you're in the first top 6-7 picks of the rounds in the draft, your first pick is that team's best player.
Yeah.
And arguably Liverpool, they've got a lot of good players, and that's where Salah comes Mane comes number 2. You could argue Son's number 2 as well, but I just like Son. He won't win the league, did he? Sorry, Ben.
Fair enough. How would you, if you had to do Son or Lukaku? Is that easy?
Yeah, Lukaku.
Yeah.
Ben?
Yeah, I think.
Easy.
Yeah, Lukaku.
I think that Son is definitely. Son seems to me to be definitely in the second tier of picks. You have Salah, Ronaldo, Lukaku at the top. Bruno probably as well. Would you do Bruno or Son, Dave?
At the moment, I would probably have Son over Bruno. I wouldn't have at the beginning of the season. I do honestly believe that Ronaldo devalues Bruno massively.
I agree with that as well, to be fair.
He scored the first game, which was Ronaldo's debut. And yeah, he got an assist last week, which was great, but he missed a penalty the week before. I just think he's not going to get anywhere near as much points he did last season.
For me,
that's the only reason
it's not even the penalties for me, even if he isn't on penalties anymore. That's part of it. But the big thing for me is the shot numbers. Ronaldo takes so many shots, and United, just because they've got him, aren't going to get 50% more shots than they did last year. They might go up a little bit, but not much. And that just mathematically means Bruno will have a lot less shots. And he had a load of shots last year, and that's how he scored so many goals.
Last season, he had 18 goals, and 9 of them were penalties, which is 50% of his goals, which is, in theory, he scored 9 goals per every play, probably a couple of free kicks as well. I just don't fancy that this year, not with Ronaldo on the pitch.
Would you take Bruno or Son then?
No, this comes to personally. I think if I was a randomer, I think I prefer to have Bruno, only because I think United are going to get, they're going to be top 3, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I hate Bruno so much, I wouldn't have him anywhere near my team.
Why do you hate him? Just out of curiosity.
He just whines all the time. When I see him at St Mary's,
he was
crying for a throw-in.
Yeah.
And I just don't like him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And as much as you shouldn't care, right? As much as it shouldn't be a big deal, it's really hard to celebrate someone you don't like. The season I had Harry Kane, obviously big Arsenal fan. I couldn't enjoy it, even though I did win the league, and I did enjoy winning the league. Every time he scored, it was like a hollow victory. So I know what you mean. It is really hard. Sometimes I wish I supported a team that was like not even in the Prem, and then and had no like rivals in the Prem,
and you could enjoy.
And it wouldn't even be a worry. Yeah, and then you just have no allegiances and you just don't care. But such is life.
I think I agree. It's painful. I mean, I'm happy Portsmouth aren't in the league because I wouldn't pick any of their players anyway.
No, if Pompey was the best in the world, I wouldn't pick any of the players.
I see. Yeah, I think you would.
Not a dog's chance.
I wish they were the best in the league, because then like half the league, their players would only get picked by like half our league with all the Saints fans. So that would be quite nice, actually.
Yeah. No, I don't. No.
Unfortunately, that's shit.
Has Nath ever had a Saints player in his team?
Yeah, he had. I remember last season he had. I think he had Vestergaard for a while. Or he had a defender, and he was like, "Why have I fucking done this? They're so shit."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah.
I don't like him.
Clearly, he's not that big of a Portsmouth fan, is he?
No, exactly.
I wouldn't fucking touch any of their players with a barge pole.
It is easy to say that when they're in League One, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, but I would never have picked up Iheanacho either.
Ben, I might believe you, Ben, but Dave, I do not believe you for a second that if there was a good Pompey player on the waivers, you wouldn't pick him up. I don't believe that for a second.
I have allegiances, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, bullshit. I've seen you cheering as Saints lose in like the 90th minute because it's lost their clean sheet that we needed. So I don't buy any of this. Right, moving on. We're going to
That's
do
different.
a little bit of who's the best option. We'll start with the Chelsea boys. Werner, Havertz and Mount, bit of a conundrum. Only one or maybe two of them look like they're going to start. It was Werner this week and he scored. Havertz and Mount both have done basically nothing. Dave, I'll start with you. How would you rank the three of them?
It hurts me to say that Mount is probably the player that you're going to want more over the other two. I don't like Mason Mount.
Really?
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of him at all. But he always scores against us, doesn't he? But I wouldn't turn him down from my team. If it was, if it was offered. But I'm not a big fan of him, to be fair. But Havertz came into this season off the back of a Champions League win, Champions League goal. Yeah, he's gonna have a good season. Great. Yeah, and Werner's scored this season. Scored yesterday, but was it Saturday? But Lukaku is the main man up there. Like Werner's not going to have anywhere near as an impact as what he wants to now, as he wanted to have last year, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably rather go Mount over the other two.
And who would you rather have out of Werner and Havertz, do you think?
I would probably go Havertz because of his upside potential more than what he's getting at the moment. He's got it in him. And Werner, every time you watch him, he just misses a hatful. Yeah. No, he's a great player. Yeah, I as soon as he signed last season, I thought he was going to be the next best pick.
Yeah, I wanted him.
Not worked out, but give him enough time, I think he will do well. But I think he's one of them again where you have to just give him time. I think he will come good.
What do you think, Ben? Havertz, Mount, and Werner. How would you rank the three of them?
Probably the opposite of Dave. I like all three of them.
That's why I've not won the league before.
Yeah, but I've never lost it. So.
And you have.
Nearly, very nearly.
Werner up front, Werner. Number one. Then I'd probably go Mount and then Havertz. Okay. Even though I think all three are great, but I think Werner just needs time. I know he had all last season and stuff, but I still think he's a great player.
It does take some people it's a long time to adapt, doesn't it? Werner strikes me as the type of person that will take time to adapt, just because he's that kind of fast, lightweight striker. They're not renowned for coming to the Prem and doing well straight away. So, yeah, I think it's a tricky one. I do actually think Werner might do well this season.
I do.
I think Chelsea are just a strange side at the moment because defensively they look like a team you want to have players for, but going forward and they're not Liverpool, they're not City, they're not banging loads of goals in every week.
It's not really clicking, is it?
No, they've got Lukaku, and you think, yeah, this is going to be the boy. And apart from Lukaku, you think it's going to get all the goals. I can't see who's going to be the second goal scorer. You can say that Liverpool. You say Salah's going to be Liverpool's top goal scorer, but Mane's going to get the next amount of goals. Same with Tottenham, Kane, and Son. You look at Chelsea's team, you think, well, Lukaku is going to get 20 goals, let's say, all competitions at least. And who's going to be the next goal scorer below him? I think last year Jorginho was top goal scorer, like an 8 or something. Yeah. That's because they all Tammy Abraham scored 7. They all scored 7, and then Jorginho scored 8 or something. Yeah, it was ridiculous, and I think that would be something similar. I think Lukaku would be ahead of everyone else, but the second one,
it's the minutes as well. Trying to judge who's going to get the most minutes out of those three, I think I would say this, right? I think if they all had the same amount of minutes, they'd all get very, very similar points.
Yeah.
So I don't think of the three of them, I don't think any are really better than the. I think actually Werner would probably get the most points if they all played the same amount of minutes. But I'm not convinced he will get the most minutes.
I think Mount will get the most minutes out of those three.
Yeah, but I also think
the way he's talking about linking with Lukaku.
I think Mount probably will get the most minutes, but I think he's probably the least clinical of the three. So
yeah, he's not a goal scorer, is he? No.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are top 15 picks, really. I think Mount definitely at the start of the season looked like I would have thought he would be a top 12-ish pick. But now I don't think that at all. I think he's gone way down now. Just because it does. I thought at the start of the season it would be once Lukaku signed, I thought it'd be Lukaku, Mount plus Werner or Havertz or Ziyech. I mean, I'm not even talked about Ziyech, but I'm not going to because I don't think he's going to play very much at all. But now it looks like it's Lukaku plus some others, and it's really hard to tell who it's going to be. So I don't. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think if I owned any of them, I'd be looking to trade.
Oh yeah, I hate players that just want to. It's Pep roulette, but Tuchel roulette. It just you do not know. Alonso's played every minute this season, and then he gets dropped for the weekend for Chilwell. Chilwell goes and scores a goal. You just can't judge Tuchel just as much as you can't judge Pep. It's just unreal. I can't. They've got a great depth again, but nothing like City. But they do rotate just as bad.
Yeah, I agree. Right, let's go on to the next little one we'll do is the Arsenal mids. So Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Pepe. I've added Pepe in. Well, I put all four in because it's not guaranteed that. I think only 3 of the 4 will start most games, and I think it's quite close actually between all of them. Who I'd like to have the most. I think Pepe is the one that gets probably the least minutes because when we play a tougher team, I imagine he drops out. But Ben, out of Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Pepe, who do you like the most, and who do you like the least?
Odegaard probably
the most.
I think
most or the least.
Yeah, I think in a fantasy football team, I would. Yeah, I think I'll take him over them, all of them. Smith Rowe, second. Saka. Who was the last one?
Pepe.
Yeah, I don't rate Pepe.
Fair enough. Okay, what about you, Dave?
Probably very similar to opposite Ben. Pepe at the bottom. I would then go Odegaard third, Smith Rowe second, Saka top. I do rate Saka. He's only 19, and Smith Rowe as well. I think Smith Rowe's better than Odegaard. I think Odegaard is a bit more there, what they would try and class as a marquee signing. But I think Smith Rowe's just as good, if not better. Yeah, I just like. Again, Smith Rowe's so young as well. There's so much more to come from him. I mean, Odegaard was so young when he played for Real Madrid, so that I don't think he's ever really hit the heights that they were expecting to. But he's hit the heights
they were
of
comparing
Arsenal.
him to the next Ronaldo, so
yeah, I don't think that was never going to happen, really, was it? Like with, but
I do rate. I think Saka and Smith Rowe, they're the 2 ones to look out for Arsenal.
Okay, I mean, Odegaard's only 22. He's still young.
Yeah.
I actually
feels like he's been around for about 40 years.
I mean, I do have Smith Rowe in my team, but I actually think Smith Rowe is the best pick out of all 4 of them. It is close, especially because I would go the same as you, Dave. I think Pepe is the worst pick just because he is the one that's likeliest to get dropped. I think if all of them start, Pepe might actually be the one that gets the most goals. Just because he's that type of player that doesn't do anything the whole game and then just whips one in the bottom corner. So Pepe, I don't think he's a terrible pick, but he won't start. Some games he just won't start, and that is annoying. So yeah, he's probably bottom of my list. I would then I think Odegaard is a very good player, but he does play deeper. So I'm not convinced he'll be in the box as much. But then he has all the set pieces, so it is a bit of a tricky one. But for me, I think Smith Rowe is the one that is the one that's arrived in the box finishing chances. And like that goal he scored against Tottenham, where he just like burst past the penalty spot and slots one in. I think he gets those positions more than the others. Saka, I think, is the best technical player of all of them. But I think just by nature of how the system works, I don't think he's going to be arriving in the box to finish as much. But I do have Smith Rowe, so I probably am biased. But for instance, if I don't, who's got Saka? Is it John?
John, yeah, because we traded at the draft.
Oh yeah, of course. So if John offered me Saka for Smith Rowe now, I don't think I'd do it. I think I'd keep Smith Rowe. Although there is a slight chance Smith Rowe could get rotated out, but I don't see it. I think he's nailed on for the time being.
Oh yeah, I think he is nailed on, and that game against Spurs seems of like that could be the start of it. Yeah. The start of that sort of, the rise of those two. I think Pepe gets. I don't like Pepe at all, but I think his price tag is what gives him that bad stereotype. If he was like 5 million, if this is a good player, 5 million, because he's like 72 million. I think people just think, that's not that's too much for a player like him.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it is right. I mean, it was a bad transfer. I don't think there's not many Arsenal fans that will defend the Pepe signing. Even if I quite like him as a player in a certain role, like against certain teams, he's really good at counter-attacking. But against we don't counter-attack that often because teams just sit back. So, yeah, I don't love it. But yeah, I definitely think Saka and Smith Rowe are the two that I'd most like to have. But then Odegaard, if I had none of them, I'd be happy to take Odegaard just because he takes all the set pieces.
Oh yeah,
he's like a good, consistent player, and he's going to start. So I do think it is quite close between all of them. So yeah, right. Does anyone have any closing remarks? I think we've been going quite a while, haven't we? So we better wrap it up soon. No. Any closing statements? International break, bit boring. We have
got FIFA coming up.
Yeah, good point.
International break, yeah.
Yeah, on Sunday we're doing a FIFA tournament with our draft. Are you coming, Dave?
No.
You working?
I've got the wedding on the Saturday.
Oh, of course you are.
On Saturday, so I'll be hungover. I know Mike's not drinking apparently, so
apparently,
yeah, that's fine. I won't be there.
Yeah, we're going to do a little FIFA tournament. I think there's going to be 8 of us, maybe more, maybe 9. And we're going to do a FIFA tournament with our draft teams and record it all and chop it up a bit and put that on YouTube. So that should be good fun. International bit boring. We're going to come back next week with another podcast next Monday probably, and then preview game week 7 in that pod and do a bit more of these sort of football chats. So yeah, if anything anyone else has to say?
No,
yes,
I'm good.
I do.
Hold on.
I'll go.
What is he doing?
That's just what I want.
Sorry, all I can make out is Joe Bryce a load of times.
That's what you get.
So all I can see is my name loads of times. Oh, the 4G is breaking up.
There it is. Jordan Russell, you'll never see one of these.
Okay. If you made it to the end of the show, congratulations. And we would like to see you back again next time. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button, and we will see you all later in the week.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
Yeah.